Our final presenter, right before the intermission, is someone who's very passionate and has a message to share with you today.
He is passionate about global issues and how we can build our knowledge to live in a more peaceful and compassionate world. Without further ado, let's give a warm introduction to Farjani Muhammad and Equality and Awareness.
We live in a generation where we can donate over billions of dollars to a French building that lit on fire in a matter of days, which is the Notre Dame. But when it comes to the starving children of Yemen, the oppression of the Palestinians, and the bombings in Syria, we turn a blind eye. The common theme here is that these are all Muslim-majority countries. Equality in society can never truly exist without there also being equality and awareness. All of these problems in our society can be solved finally if we all just begin to recognize them. If we all begin to recognize them as equally as we do as other issues that have been resolved in the past. Power is speaking out about issues and problems when nobody else will. As many of you may already know, Ukraine has been suffering a crisis recently with Russia. Russia has begun invading Ukraine this February, and according to Reuters.com, there have been nearly 40,000 casualties, as well as 12,000 non-fatal injuries. The Russo-Ukrainian war has been published across the media quite a bit. And by no means am I saying this is a bad thing, but why is it that Ukraine is receiving the luxury of the media while many of these other countries are not? People are concerned about Ukraine's attacks, and although they should be, why is it that Ukraine is receiving the support of society while other countries in crisis are not? Libya is a country located in North Africa, right next to Egypt. The country has been in conflict since 2011 and has suffered many casualties. This conflict was intended to liberate Libya and overthrow the government. However, has resulted in roughly 5,000 wounded, around 600 dead, and 1,500 missing. Yemen is a third world country located in the Middle East of Asia. The country has a population of around 32 million, and of this 32 million, at least 8 million citizens are at risk of starvation. Yemen has suffered this starvation issue since 2016, and the current level of hunger there remains unprecedented. The rate of child and women malnutrition rate is one of the highest in the world, with millions of children at risk daily of illness, starvation, or even death. Could you imagine yourself in the same situation, considered lucky enough to even have a slice of bread as your meal for the day? Syria, once a thriving and prosperous economy, is now a disaster where people can't even leave their homes without being afraid of a bomb or feeling safe outside. Syria has been at war since 2018, and when one may think, as a member of the United Nations, the US would have helped Syria, the US was actually a part of these bombings too. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, or the SOHR for short, there have been reported at least 13,000 casualties from US coalition strikes. As of March 2022, the estimated total number of casualties in Syria has been over 500,000. With the help of volunteer civilian rescue teams known as the White Helmets, these casualties have thankfully decreased. However, these casualties are still ongoing and are still very imminent. Uighur is a place located in northwestern China with a population of around 13.5 million, and 12 million of this population is made up by Muslims. The oppression of the Muslims in Uighur is atrocious, and the fact that this is very unknown to most of the world is almost frightening. This is what the world sees, and this is what the world doesn't see. As you can see, propaganda has clouded the truth behind the concentration camps and genocides that are happening right now in Uighur as we speak, causing most of the world to be unaware of this situation. Just recently, during this Ramadan, Chinese authorities have enforced the practice of force-feeding Uighur Muslims pork and alcohol, which, if you didn't already know, are two very major sins in Islam. Millions of Muslims are being placed into concentration camps and suffering mass genocides since 2014, with thousands of mosques being damaged or destroyed and hundreds of children being forced out of their homes. This is a very serious world issue that should not be taken lightly. This may sound familiar because during World War II, when the Holocaust was taking place, the exact same situation was happening with the Jews during their concentration camps and the same genocides that they endured due to Hitler. Why is it that when this happened back in World War II, the entire world was known about it? However, while this is happening right now as we speak, it has very little acknowledgement throughout the world. Palestine is a country located in Western Asia, which has been occupied by Israel for the past 51 years. However, recently, things have escalated. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been forced out of their homes, and many children have been taken away from their families by Israeli soldiers. Just recently, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, Israel, was attacked by Israeli soldiers. These soldiers attacked many worshippers just praying in the mosque using tear gas shells and sound bombs. This is a major crisis to Muslims because this mosque in particular is historically important because before the Kaaba was built, this is where all Muslims in the world would actually pray to. Although people view Canada as a multicultural utopia, one would be surprised to find oppression in a place like this. In Canada, statistics by Conversation.com see that hate crimes against Muslims grew 253% between the years of 2011 and 2015. Islamophobia has become such a common idea in Quebec to the point where Bill 21 has been recently established, banning the turban, cross, niqab, and hijab for all public service workers. This includes lawyers, doctors, teachers, police officers, and many more occupations that we see in our everyday lives that help us with all the struggles we go through daily. I ask you all, why is it that in history classes, we're all learning about the concentration camps of World War II and the genocides that those Jews endured? However, while there's just same issues happening right now, while the same issues are happening right now, the media has not been showing this. Why is it that when a building in France is burned, in a matter of days, billions of dollars have been donated? However, there's hundreds of thousands of people in Yemen starving right now and can't even afford to have a meal to see the next day. Why is it that when Pearl Harbor was bombed, the entire world knew about it in a matter of days, but when it comes to the bombings of Syria, the world is oblivious? I leave you all with the question today. Is there truly equality in society without there being equality in awareness? Because as Martin Luther King once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.